want to take this episode dedicated to my dad. So my dad probably earned around his lifetime income around $5 million. A lot of times we all think that it's just about the money. I need to make money and it's going to solve all my problems. I'm going to be able to build wealth. But my dad literally was a top 25% income earner 10 years ago. Even if you're making over six figures now, you're still probably in the top 30%. So where did the money go? His father always did was that he allowed us to use his experiences to help ourselves, but not only that, help other people as well too. Welcome to the Plug Talk Podcast, the podcast that gave you real game on the original OPM, Our People Money. Listen, the reason why I created my own podcast, my own YouTube channel, my own space is because I wanted to create a space that I can give you information that's not stepped on, that's uncut directly from myself, who's a licensed financial advisor, that I can give you step-by-step, everyday steps for anybody, whether you're starting to build wealth or you are high earning income earner right now. I can give you guidance on how to really build wealth from wherever you at, to create a generational wealth and a legacy. So today's episode is dedicated to my dad, my father, rest in peace. My father passed away 2 years ago. Just by me being a financial advisor, part of the reason why I even got in the finance space was because my dad. Around that time where I really started to really learn how money worked, my dad actually was retiring from his job in law enforcement on Rikers Island. And that was part of the experiences that I recall when it really just motivated me to get into the financial services space to really understand how money worked. And my father passed away 2 years ago. To be honest, family, my dad didn't pass away any inheritance. He died broke. And me being a financial advisor, I see numbers differently. So over the course of his life, my dad probably earned somewhere around $5 million from the time he started working up until retirement, because he was still working in retirement. And his tenure as a correctional officer, he literally made probably around $3 million. When it comes to like settlements, getting raises every year, getting a promotion, becoming a captain, he probably made $3 million in that time spent alone, not to mention any other additional streams of income because he was a business owner. He did a few things, and it really just dawned on me on how he was able to generate all that money, earn all that income, and leave $0 in wealth. And as a financial advisor, and more importantly, as a son, it kind of bothered me. So I really want to just figure out and reverse engineer what happened. So while I was thinking about my dad, I want to use his journey as a testimony for other people, because one thing that my father always did was that he allowed us to use his experiences to help ourselves, but not only that, help other people as well too. So I want to take this episode and really dedicate it to my dad. So my dad probably earned around his lifetime income around $5 million. And his last year of working, this is just estimates, he made around $120,000 maybe, right? Give or take. And at that time, years ago, that will put him in the top 25% of income earners in the world. So when we have to unpack that, let's start by seeing the full financial picture, because a lot of times we all think that it's just about the money. I need to make money and it's going to solve all my problems. I'm going to be able to build wealth. But my dad literally was a top 25% income earner 10 years ago. So even if you're making over six figures now, you're still probably in the top 30%, right? So where did the money go? So as a financial advisor and as a son, I really started to unpack what happened. The first thing I really want to talk about that my father had was that although he had riches and he had a high earning income, my dad had a poor mindset. My dad constantly passed over opportunities to build wealth repeatedly. He always had a get rich quick type of mentality, right? He never thought about the long term as far as my perception of how he moved. He always wanted to do things. Like he will always say things like hook or crook, and when you have that mentality, you're thinking for the moment and temporarily, you're not thinking long term. So I just give you an example that my dad literally was a victim of predatory lending. And by the grace of God, he was connected with a lawyer who really helped him out. And he had the opportunity to take the property that he was investing in free and clear, or $150,000, right? At that time, the property was worth probably less than $1 million. In the early 90s. So now my dad had an opportunity to take the asset free and clear. All you have to do is pay the taxes on it and it's yours forever, or take $150,000. And my dad chose $150,000. So not only that, My dad literally went to the check cash place to cash the check for $150,000. This is how the story began. At that time, I think they have to call the actual person that's writing the check to verify if the check is supposed to be yours. And the lawyer at the time called my dad frantically, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you need to go on vacation, I'll give you the money, but just don't cash the check. So this is God working on his side, giving him this notifications that he needs to receive to make sure that he do the right thing with the money that he received, right? But my father, for some reason, he just needed the money right then and there. And I think part of the problem is that he was under financial stress. A lot of times people really underestimate the intangible effect of financial stress. Financial stress causes you to make poor decisions. And a lot of times people make poor decisions because they under financial stress. They have bills that's due immediately or past due. And because they're not in a state of flow and they kind of backed up, they are making immediate decisions to help satisfy their current situation, which I'm not knocking him for it, but this is what actually happens. So he really just had a poor mindset. Two, the second thing that actually stopped my dad from leaving an inheritance is the fact of his environment. His environment didn't allow him to do the right thing. So my father always told me and my brothers that he had a co-op opportunity to like a mailman or delivery man for a real estate brokerage firm. And one of the people there took a liking to him and really try to show him things about business. And that's when he really was exposed to business. However, that was only temporary. He would go back to his environment in Brooklyn, New York, where he lived permanently, and you go back to the people that probably don't have the same vision as you, the same belief system as you. And now, you know, that environment that you're in is taking control of you because your environment would change you before you change it. So the fact that my dad wasn't in a proper environment for him to keep flourishing and investing into himself and his education, he was going in the right direction. God was putting him in the right rooms, but the environment that he was constantly in 90% of the time, it resulted in him being a product of his environment to some degree. So I'm not going to say my dad was just, a bad person. No, but I seen how his life played out. So now when it comes to your environment, it's also your relationships too, not just personal relationships, but business-wise. So I think my dad literally had negative personal and business relationships that caused a lot of drain his wealth potential from the people that he was around. And I'm not going to get into all that in depth, but the people that he was around was not giving him good counsel and was not giving him proper advice on what to do with himself and his finances, right? So having a good financial advisor, having somebody in your corner that's going to tell you the smart thing to do with your money is key. It's worth $1 million, right? It's priceless. Another thing that I think that caused my dad to not leave an inheritance and drain his wealth was the fact of financial literacy. He didn't know any better. So the only thing that he was taught was to go to get a good job, invest in the market, deferred compensation. You putting your money in these vehicles where it's going to be tax deferred. So you thinking that you're saving on taxes. But my dad literally took out his money before 59 and a half years old. So he got hit with a penalty, not to mention he was working all those years to increase his pension, right? So when he went into retirement, it was like some formula where the last 3 years of your working career, they would give you like a pension based upon that. I don't know exactly what it is. People that's in law enforcement or know my dad, you probably can vouch for this type of formula. So what he was doing was he was maximizing all his income potential at that time, doing overtime, stuff like that. But he didn't understand that you're not supposed to use your money until you're 59 and a half years old. So he's in his mid-40s. So what he doing is that he just want to retire, take his money and run. So he got hit with the penalty. And then now on top of that, he got to report all that income. And now he's in a higher tax bracket because he didn't have any financial literacy. He didn't have any assets. He didn't have anything to write off on the income that he would generate. He didn't have anything to offset as far as expenses or anything like that. So now he owed the IRS. So now on top of that, you were supposed to be financially free, but now you owe the IRS in retirement. One thing that I remember so profoundly about my dad is when he was in retirement, he had fixed income, he had a pension. However, because he didn't control and own his living space, he was renting. Every year, they would increase his rent. Every year consistently. So his income is fixed, but his living expenses is rising. So now he's having a cash flow crunch, and now he's not having the ability to have the same quality of life that he was. Mind you, he's still in his 40s, still young, right? So now he have a second job and he's doing his thing, but he's realizing that his money is not going as far as he thought it was, as he was told while he was working. That whole idea of the American dream and retiring early, it wasn't working out in his favor. And that's something that my dad always taught me and my brothers, was that a job is just over broke. He was a living testimony that you can do all the right things. You can do everything in your power to do the right thing, but still know if you don't have the proper strategy or the financial guidance, you could still end up in a bad situation. And that's why on my YouTube channel, I'm going to go over the stock market and really get into the numbers of things. But a lot of my game is not just about the numbers or the spreadsheet. It's really about understanding your full financial picture and understanding how money flows. Because it could be something that's affecting you that's not on the spreadsheet, that's affecting your bank account, affecting your ability to be the best version you can be. And I see my father as that. My father was that type of person. So it really hurt me. This is how we talk about generational wealth, that my father lived an entire lifetime and he didn't pass down anything to us. Even in fact, he passed down debt. Another thing that my dad did that I want to bring people to is my father passed away prematurely. And I believe that passing away early is literally one of the worst things you could do financially, because your earning potential and your ability to make money is one of the true wealth building skills. So the fact that he wasn't able to do anything further beyond his passing date, which was very young, it really killed his wealth. On top of the fact that he didn't understand health, how to eat the right way. So when I got into the financial advisory space and I understand all these vehicles, especially life insurance, my dad did not have the proper health condition to even get qualified. So just these things that don't have anything to do with numbers, when it comes to your health or your understanding of how money works, it affected his ability to build wealth or have these vehicles that can actually transfer down wealth to us in the best way, So that's really what I really wanted to share when it comes to this first YouTube video. I want to dedicate it to my father. So my dad really made us rich dad, poor dad. And as a grown adult, it dawned on me that my dad knew that he was a poor dad. He knew that he resonated with that poor dad. And what he did is that he made us rich sons. So this video is not the fact of just to say that my dad, died poor or died broke. It's the fact that because he still didn't have anything to give us probably financially, but all the lessons the losses that he actually took, he gave it to us as a lesson. A lot of times we was younger, at 13, 14 years old, going to business meetings, learning that the value of not trading your time for money. We was learning this early. So even though my father didn't fully execute it, he put us in the environment, and we're seeing people that's really high level, high functioning people and knowing what they do, and we're actually replicating their success stories without even knowing it. Before social media, my dad was taking us to networking events, and he was getting on calls at 6 o'clock in the morning with his team. And I wish he was here so I can give him his flowers even more, because as a 14-year-old kid, I could remember vividly that I saw the work that my father put in. Like, he was working up on a call while everybody else was sleeping. After that call, he would pour into us, and he would give us game, and he would be so excited about our ability to create a lifestyle that he never had. My dad was literally our number one supporter. And I just really want to share that because you're not actually passing down any dollar amount does not mean you can't pass down wealth. You can pass down knowledge. You can pass down information. You can pass down the lessons that you have endured and experiences and transfer it down to your loved ones. Now, yes, I'm not going to say that we're going to keep passing it down nothing, because we definitely want to be in first place. We don't want to be in last place, but my dad was able to take his losses and turn it into lessons for us. And now we're here building generational wealth, creating multi-million-dollar net worth for our family, building wealth, doing the right thing, all because of my dad was actually open and honest about his setbacks and his failures. So I really just want to share that it's not just about how much money you can make. It's about how much money you can keep. And it's not just about your earning potential, but if you have a poor mindset, you can be a millionaire and have a poor mindset. You can be 1,000 and have a poor mindset. But if you have a rich mindset and you have a rich spirit, right, you can build wealth. You'll be able to really attain wealth. And that's what my game and information is about. See, I'm not your regular typical advisor with the common approach of telling you to put your money in the market and wait long term. My game is based upon community development and making sure that our people are successful based upon the things that we can control. So when it comes to that, and then I can tell you when to do it when to invest in the market. And then I'm going to break down different strategies based upon different things like infinite banking, different IULs, why I choose cryptocurrency over the stock market, or when to invest in the stock market and things like that. Like, so at the end of the day, my dad is my avatar. And that's really, to be honest, my dad is my avatar because I don't want to see people who literally work 20, 30, 40, 50 years and to do all this, to transfer all that wealth, not to their family, not to our community, and it's going outside of our community, and now they know what to do with it, and now they multiplying the money that we earn. So the retiree, the people that's in the retirement red zone, they have a lot of the wealth, and you need to make sure we're doing the right things with it. So there's different plays for different people at different stages in their life, and there's people that's just starting out getting into their career or a college student, but everyone has a role and an opportunity to help us as a community build wealth for ourselves. Everybody may not be a 6-7 figure earner, but what you can do is maximize your dollar to make sure the overall ship can make more money, and then we all can actually benefit from it. So this is episode 1. I want to dedicate this again to my dad. Long live my dad, rest in peace. And I'm going to be getting to my game. If you want real counsel, real advice on finances, I'm going to give you a high-level game. I'm not going to always give you just personal life financial advice. I'm going to break down numbers. I want to get into the weeds of things, but not everything is about which product is which, what rate of return is that. It's about what are we doing before that, the work we're doing before that no one else sees, that actually results in us being able to take advantage of opportunities. So this is episode 1 of the Plug Talk podcast. I'm Mr. Brooklyn Business, aka The Plug. I'm going to see y'all next time. Let's get it.
Double up, turn 1 to 2 money. Got new money, got some old money. Green lighting on the business, that's a gold money. Got old money, got some new money.